Hey, welcome to the Brisbane Small Business Show, and I've got Beth and Darrell. Darrell was a late starter. We've got Beth and Darrell with us from Darbeth. I don't know how Darrell got him first in the name, but one day we'll get to the bottom of that. I don't know why it wasn't Beth Dar. Guys. So,
actually, it was my idea, and I thought it flowed.
Oh, you're ever so giving. Was it something to do with Darth Vader, and you wanted some kind of May the Fourth be with you, little segue there? But actually,
at our engagement party, we got a card to Darrell and Beth, so we wanted to avoid that.
Darrell and Beth.
Well, there you go. So look, these guys are experts on all things like IT and systems and stuff like that, and like having discussions with Darrell over the years kind of scares me a little bit, the stuff that they know. But it shouldn't scare you because you don't have to know it, neither do I. They know it for us, which is really cool. I was talking to Darrell the other day, and we were talking about, hey, what's the world going to look like coming out of this? Okay. And we said, Darrell wanted to start talking about the new normal. And I said, well, it's kind of going to be business as usual, but different. And he went, yeah, that's what I just said, Kevin. So we won't worry about that sort of stuff. We'll worry about what they've got. You guys have been in the whole systems and IT and process improvement for just a couple of years, haven't you?
Yeah, just a couple. Like I kind of started back in the punch card days, and yeah.
Punch card days. So I've got a funny story about punch cards. So when I was going to uni, I did accounting back then. So that might scare a few people already, but I did do accounting. And my lecturer sat there, my computing lecturer said, look, if your business is still using a punch card machine, I'm telling you to quit because they are so old-fashioned and they're going to die. Now, this guy was absolutely Nostradamus because I was working for IBM at the time, which was the world's largest computing company, and I was using punch cards at IBM. And look at where IBM are today. He was right. Who would have thunk it? This guy was a man for his time. So back when you used to use punch cards, so we're talking pre-1980s, everybody else. So Darrell has just a little bit of experience in this.
Yeah. And along the way, I've helped a few large. We actually sort of go back, started off in a family business. So, we know where the board meeting was around the kitchen table. And I kind of escaped from that for a little while and went rogue out into the corporates. And then, so I've learned how to work with projects that span across continents and sort of national ones. And then I've come back into the small business area with specifically in that area because the growth is now in small business. And if you look at I won't go into this, but if you look at the numbers coming out of the ABS, the numbers of large businesses are going down, the number of small businesses, they're going up. Okay.
Well, I can tell you from Queensland Government's own information here that small business has grown by about 3% a year and our economy isn't. So good news for us, small business, go team. We actually equate for 44% of the working population, according to the Queensland Government statistics, and just under 1 million employees. So it's a good sector to want to serve, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's also interesting because most of the people who work in that sector don't realise the power that they've got in their hands. Because they think the large corporates have got it all over them, but the large corporates are actually struggling with overheads. They're struggling with all sorts of things.
So let me go further on my analysis for you. That a small business person, per person, we turn over about just under half of what someone in big business does. We turn over about $130,000 per person or thereabouts. A big business turnover person turns over in excess of $250,000 per person. Okay, that's every single person, admin, even the cat, I think, that comes in for morale. All of them turn over $250,000. Small business, $130,000. And yet, small business can be profitable on $130,000 per person, and big business, they're profitable, but they've got twice the revenue, so of course they should be profitable. Imagine if we could close that gap. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, is how you can close your gap by not losing things along the way, by having a much better information flow. And the one thing that this is about is creating cool outcomes for your clients and your business without all of that leaky stuff that happens, or without that stuff just going missing between process A and process B. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of the small business owners, they got everything in their head. And when it happens like that, they've got a lot of things under control, but they've got a lot of things that are just sort of swinging around somewhere in orbit somewhere, and they don't quite know where they're going. So I've found over the years that if we start looking at the way information moves through the business, that's a good way to understand where things are getting lost and things are getting mixed up.
I hope I wasn't looking too guilty as you were saying all of that, because okay, so now that we've determined what we've determined, that, hey, you're an expert, that you've been helping big business with process improvement, you've been helping small business process improvement, you come at it from a point of view of looking at the process and is it involving systems or people, or do we need to fix up the process in between and all that sort of stuff. But it's just clearly about outcome. You've got 3 really clear, simple steps, haven't you?
Yeah, when we look at a business and trying to figure out where we can actually do something good for them, we break it up into 3 key processes that every business has. You start off, the very beginning bit is sales and marketing. Once you've got
we'll come back to going into detail about the sales and marketing process in a second. The second part is?
Order to cash. Your sales and marketing feeds into order to cash, because once sales have got the order, then you're moving from how we get business to how we deliver business. Okay? And the third one that we look at underpins both of those, and that's your finance processes, which is how you get money for what you do. So that's how you get your business, how you deliver your business, and how you get paid for your business.
Awesome. So that's 3 really cool areas to start this, and of course in between you're making your customers really happy, and that's why you're that's between the order and cash part. Absolutely. So I like those 3 areas of business, and it's a really cool, simple way of going, okay, so before I've actually signed my client to signing my client, then there's a line, then my client signed, what do I have to do before I get paid? And then making sure that cash just isn't disappearing before I realise what's happened with it.
Yeah. One of the key things with breaking that sales and marketing separate to the order to cash is that we do it in our heads anyway. And there's so many small businesses that go through the roller coaster, because sometimes they're paying attention to sales and marketing, forget about the delivery, and then other times they're flipping it around the other way. And to keep business on a relatively even level, you need to pay attention to both of them all the time.
And it's like I keep saying, I keep coming back to, hey, they're outperforming us $2 to 1 per person. Have you ever noticed how most big businesses, they have a sales department and a marketing department? And their operations department aren't their sales and marketing department?
Yep.
So this is why I love how you've done that, because even if you are all of the departments, if you can mentally compartmentalize, I'm in my sales and marketing mode right now.
Yeah.
And now I'm in my process delivery phase.
Yep.
And now I'm in my, what's that?
You need to put that in your diary or you forget. Yeah, because you got to differentiate between what's urgent and what's important.
Absolutely. And so it's really important to know where you are, because apart from anything else, then when you're in the middle of performing, sure, you can occasionally do a bit of an upsell, and that's cool, but your focus needs to be in performing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. So you're using a combination of auditing, for want of a nicer word, but reviewing the systems of the business. And you said you've got a really detailed 30-point questionnaire, and I said, hey, let's start with a 10-point one, and because I might even fill that one out. The 30-point, we're all busy. And so that's my challenge for you. So where do you start? So if we look at the sales and marketing process, what sort of things are you looking for?
Well, we're looking for how easily you get the order generated out of all the activity that you put in. We all know about the funnel and how it comes down.
Hang on. That you're going a step too far there. You said we all know about the funnel, but not everyone does.
True. And a lot of people, they just sort of wait for the phone to come in. And that's some of the areas that we can look at as well.
Look, I've been guilty of that too. So so that's why I love having these conversations, because you see, here's stuff that we all think from time to time, hey, this is so basic, everybody knows this stuff. And then we start talking to them and they go, what are you talking about? And we go, oh, awesome. And that's cool.
And you know what the beauty of a collaboration of small businesses is? If we get into a point where we're not really strong in that area, we recommend, hey, you guys don't
absolutely.
We know somebody who can come in and help you with that. So.
Hey, and there's plenty of them on that small business directory. I hear, that Brisbane small business. There are some really cool guys there.
Yeah, which one are you talking about again, Kevin?
Yeah, brisbanesmallbusiness.com.au. Just go there. You'll find some really cool people. In fact, you'll find these guys, Darbeth Trust, there too. So basically, the first thing we're doing is we're having a look, and we're going to break it into the 3 core categories so that we can review each category separately without just trying to review the whole thing as one, because that's the first mistake, that if we're trying to review our own business, we make the mistake of trying to fix everything at once. And that's really, really hard to do, right? Yeah. It's really hard to get from the inside. You can go, oh, I wish it looked like this. But then when you start going to fix things, you need to fix them in the right order. And another
thing too that we address, Kevin, is we got a way that we can get the things that people want to do, but then we prioritise them, because there is a big difference between urgent and important. You may want to get orders in the door, and that might be what's urgent, tugging at you. But what's more important is your website before that. It might, in fact, be the website which is dragging down the order. So you need to understand the difference between the two and work out what the real priority is, not the one that's got its head up highest.
Which is perfect. So your checklist.
Yep.
I'll even let you share your 30-point checklist to start with, but I'm going to challenge you to shorten it to 10. I'm going to, have you got a landing page that your 30-point checklist is on?
Not yet, it's hit.
So if anyone wants their 30-point checklist.
Yes. I'll type it up.
Darrell and Beth are not going to just post it onto the group. You need to put your hand up and you need to say, hey, could I have your 30-point checklist?
Yep.
Because the least you could do is let them know that you're interested in this stuff, so that if they can help you out, they can help you out.
Yep. I'll give you 3 things to think about. Number 1, what is your business objective? What are you trying to achieve in your business? So think about that. Then once you have that in mind, go and have a look at your diary. That's second. Number 3, go and have a look at what you spent your money on. Don't worry too much about the dollars, just what you spent your money on. And then does your diary and your expenses line up with your business objective? A lot of people get surprised when they do that simple comparison.
See, you don't even need 10 questions. You got an awesome 3-question survey there.
Yeah. We've asked that question at some places, and some people actually change their objectives once they compared that to what they were actually doing.
Absolutely. No, look, I love where this is going. I'm going to encourage people to reach out and give you a shout out. I'm going to encourage people to reach out and get Darrell and Beth to help you have a quick look at your business. So if you're doing the 30 point checklist thing with someone, how long does that take?
Not long. This is really just a flick and tick type thing. Are we doing this? Can we do it better, or doesn't it apply? So it's just like a quick tick and flick one. And then once you've done that, you have some idea of where you need to start. But even then, we need to prioritise so that we've got the right things first.
So would you even offer that as is this a introductory thing that you give people, or do you have a half hour for $27 type session, or
both?
We've already given out to a lot of people that 30 things checklist, and we are in the process of launching a 30-minute video conference to be able to go through things with people to help them be more efficient in their business.
So how much is the 30-minute video conference?
We're still deciding that. We're sort of talking about around the $30 mark-ish.
So I reckon it's an absolute steal at around the $30 mark. I tell you, I pay $99 for that half-hour consultation, because the thousands of dollars that it can save someone really, really quickly, do it at the $30, do it at that. But the reality is you're selling it really, really super cheap. I love what you're doing. I love the way that you've broken up the business processes into the 3 phases. I can imagine, even if somebody just got that half-hour consultation and left to start working on stuff, they're going to improve their systems dramatically already.
Yeah.
But one of the challenges, and do that, but then you'll probably want to come back and see Darrell and Beth in another month's or 3 months' time, going, okay, so I'm up to here, but now I'm stuck, because every now and again we all just get stuck. I can promise I do anyway. So I actually had to ring up. I rang a business consultant last week, and I went, look, I've got to be honest. I've been running around chasing my tail, and I'm just stuck. I know what I'm doing, but I'm not getting where I want to go, because I feel like I'm running around in circles. And within a very short period of time, they said, Kevin, your hole's here. And I went, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That outside pair of eyes is really so critical. So
see the chart paper behind you. Yeah. We have often just talk to people about their business processes on that. And one particular fella I'm thinking of, it quite literally everything came down to what was in the centre of the chart paper. And we said to him, that's what you need to take care of. Everything else outside of that, you can delegate. The whole just lifted all the weight off him just for that one thing.
And it's that breaking that stuff down for one thing at a time. Hey, look, we've gone 18 minutes. I told you I was finding it really hard to get under that 30 minutes. Yeah. I think that we've given people really good reason. If you want to break your business processes down into 3 distinct different areas, and you want help with this, sales and marketing, from when someone's placed the order through to when you collect the cash or when you've performed your duties, and then understanding your finances, both what's coming in, what's going out, stopping all of those leakages of those. There seems to be a hole in my bucket every month, that's for sure. Darbeth are guys that can help you out. Just put a comment below at this stage, and I'm going to have a chat with them about creating some landing pages and stuff so that you can easily reach out and say, hey, can I get your quick little questionnaire? Remember those 3 questions. 1, what is your business objective? 2, have a look at your diary. And 3, have a look at your bank statement and see if your bank statement and your diary are fulfilling that objective. I think that was the quick summary. Was that not?
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, absolutely awesome. Love your work. Thanks for coming on. This was a really short notice. These guys, I called them up at lunchtime and they were prepared to come on today. So thanks. Really reach out.
Yeah, you like our studio?
I do. It's kind of like this really big stars. I think they're getting closer. I'm a bit worried that it's an alien spaceship coming to land. Thank you very much. No, it was
with you.
It looks truly awesome. One day I'll get a professional back wall and stuff, a media wall or whatever, done up for me and make it look professional. But right now, my home office is fine. Thanks for coming on.
Gotcha.
Remember, if you're watching this and you haven't already seen our petition, basically we're trying to get the Queensland government to bring back funding for small business. They've absolutely deserted small business at the moment. We're asking them to bring back funding, starting with all of the traditional grants that would be open. The digital grant should be open right this minute. We should be in the middle of Small Business Month. They've cancelled both of those indefinitely. They've said Small Business Month might come back in July as we're all getting back into work according to ScoMo. That'll be really convenient to be trying to educate ourselves while we're trying to scramble for new work. So have a look at the petition, sign it. The only use of that information is to record it on the parliamentary register. Nobody can ever get it electronically. Really, this is about bringing money back into small business so that we can be sustainable. So you can afford to do really cool projects with people like Beth and Darrell. And you can actually use those funds to grow your business, to come out of this. And as we said right from the business, so we can get back to the new usual. Which would be awesome. So thanks very much for your time, guys. I really appreciate it.
Gotcha.
And when I find out where my mouse is, we'll even finish this broadcast. Thanks, guys. Bye now.
Bye.